Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations to the Akim that's pushing this word throughout the four corners of the planet. Shalom to the elect. Alright, real quick. Got this video queued up. And pretty much, America, alright, it's in a downward spiral, all right? And ultimately, this place is going to go out with a bang, all right? I'm going to play the video, and this guy, Tucker Carlson, all right, he's pretty much going to run it down of how, violence is increasing, and, this is just going to lead to, sedition, more sedition, if you will. So I'm going to let the video play, and we're going to get into it.
And that's just underground. % year over year. Schools? It's not a guess, it's measurable. From January 1st to April 10th of this year, robberies in the New York transit system are up more than 70% year over year. Felony assaults in the subway have increased by 28%. Grand larceny, according to the NYPD, is up by more than 100%. Those are all crimes of violence. And that's just underground. The same thing is happening on the streets. And if you don't know it, you just got back to the country after a while. According to ABC News, quote, about 11% of violent crime in the city of Los Angeles involved a homeless person in 2018, 13% in 2019, and 15% in 2020. If that was a graph, it would look like that. Keep in mind, the homeless make up about 1% of the total population of Los Angeles, but they're involved in nearly a fifth of all violent crimes in the city. Oh, but ignore it. It's not happening. And yet everyone who lives here knows that it is happening because the numbers go up every year. And if you have kids, you know it's happening because it's the same story in the schools. The executive director of the National Association of School Resource Officers, Mo Kennedy, told Fox Business that schools are, quote, seeing more aggression in terms of fights. Sometimes they're shoving matches, and sometimes they're flat-out assaults. It's more misbehavior, thefts, and those kinds of things in schools. It didn't used to happen. It's happening now. Why? It's not guns. It's not the gun lobby. More American families had guns at home 50 years ago than they do now. According to the RAND Corporation, which studied this, 45% of American homes had a gun in 1980. In 2016, that had dropped to 32%. So the problem is not that we're more armed than we were. The problem is that people have changed. Young men have changed. They're more violent. Why? That's the bipartisan conversation we need to.
Why? Because ultimately we're at the end. All right? Let me get this. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. Hey, and that's what we're doing. All right, that's what the men of the Lord doing. Ultimately, exhorting. All right. The name of the Heavenly Father and the Son Yahweh Shah, and pretty much letting you know it's the Lord that's doing all these things. All right, it's Yahweh Shah, all right, that's bringing this judgment. All right, and it's nothing that you people can do about it. Okay, this place is going to continue to wax worse and worse. Let me get this. All right, this place is just going to continue to go. Okay, right now it's really already at the point of no return. Matthew 24:12, because iniquity should abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And because he said, why is people more violent? Okay, because ultimately because sin, all right, is at an all-time high. All right, America, all right, is morally bankrupt, okay, uh, 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 morally bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt, okay, and it's financially bankrupt, all right, and you got hyperinflation, all right, gas had an all-time high, food is uh, going up, bills, utilities, all right, so on, forth and so on. All right, what do you think this is going to do? This is going to drive these people, okay, to pretty much spaz out, man. All right, hey, I was in traffic, man, and people have a short fuse. All right, as soon as the light turn green, all right, they laying on the horn. All right, they speeding past you, giving you the mean mug. All right, why? Because these people are on edge. These people, all right, America is one big, what you call it, powder keg, man. All right, and all it's going to take is one proverbial spark. All right, and you're going to have all-out chaos. Okay, civil war, race riots. Okay, all these things are gonna manifest. Okay, here in America, man. All right, famine. Hey, they just said in Michigan, all right, the police are not going to answer all emergency calls when you call 911. All right, so what does that mean? Okay, that means it's every man for themselves. All right, and ultimately, if you don't have the protection of Yahweh Shah, all right, you're pretty much going to be fair game in the times to come, man. All right, let's let it play.
Have now. And that conversation has been drowned out by lunatic attention seekers who are hoping to win the next election. But we don't need them now. Never mind your election. There's something really wrong, and we can figure it out if we try. There are probably a lot of causes. The use of antidepressants in this country is increasing dramatically. Between 1991 and 2018, total SSRI consumption increased in the U.S. by more than 3,000%. 3,000%.
So there you go. And what's funny is I didn't even really watch this whole video. All right, I just seen a little bit of it. So I said, hey, through the spirit, I'm gonna go through the spirit, play it, and then whatever the spirit feed me, I'm gonna go, just go with the spirit. Hey, but he's saying, people taking antidepressants is increased. Hey, and that's another problem. All right, these people are hooked on opioids, heroin. You got a heroin crisis. Okay, here in Philadelphia, heroin is is an area called Kensington. You go down there, man, it look like The Walking Dead, man. All right, so this thing is playing out beautifully. All right, let's go.
Remember, these are supposed to reduce mental illness. Now, that's a real stat. It was published by the medical journal Science of the Total Environment. And it's not just this country. In Canada, state-funded antidepressant prescriptions for young people doubled over the last decade. Then, during the lockdowns, SSRI prescriptions increased even more. A pharmacy group called Express Scripts reported that antidepressant prescriptions went up by more than 20% during COVID. According to the latest figures...
Let me get this. All right. And hey, man, and we've been telling you this, all right, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. Hey, we've been telling you this, all right, that these things was going to come, all right, but you people laugh, all right, you scoff, you scorn, hey, and now guess what? You're seeing, okay, the fruits of your labors, man. You're seeing your worst nightmares come true. All right, let's get it. It says Isaiah 24:7, the new wine mourneth, divine language, or the merry-hearted do sigh. Hey, and that's these people. All right, these people are passing out. Okay, they don't know which way to, they don't know which way to go. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what the future holds for them. Okay, so they're in a down spirit, man. It says the mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Yeah, all right, you're no longer drinking that liquor, all right, to in a celebratory spirit. All right, you're drinking it, all right, because you're in a spirit of mourning. All right, you're in the spirit of drowning your sorrows, if you will. All right, with a bottle. Okay, hey man, and me and my brothers, all right, and like-minded brothers, hey man, we was drinking last night. Hey man, we was in the spirit, man. We was drinking in a we was celebrating, man. Hey, the downfall of this place, man. All right, we was drinking and praising the Lord. Okay, last night. They should not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Yeah, because ultimately these people don't have the ability to host. All right, to be a good host. All right, they can't afford to feed you. All right, they can't afford to drink and be merry. All right, because they don't have the funds to do it. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Hey, and that's what we see right here, man. Okay, the mirth of the land is gone. Hey, and we just at the beginning. Okay.
More than 40 million Americans are now taking psychoactive drugs. That's roughly 1 in 10. So again, the point of these drugs is to make you healthier mentally, to reduce suicide and violence. And yet suicide rates and rates of violence are spiking. Now, we don't know that that's causation, but it's worth looking at. Of course, it's immoral to criticize Big Pharma, but could we use an honest conversation about this? Yes, immediately. Clearly something's going on. Watch.
3 major medical associations, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, have together declared a national state of emergency in children's mental health caused by COVID. Parents report grief, anxiety, and depression among children, citing school closures and forced isolations as the primary culprits. Suicide attempts among adolescents are rising sharply, most acutely among 12 to 17-year-old girls, by 51% since the start of the pandemic.
Oh, so the lockdowns dramatically increase the incidence of mental illness among young people, and in 10 days we've seen 2 mass shootings by mentally ill young people. Could there be a connection? Now, that's not finger pointing. It's not to blame Fauci for yesterday's shooting. We're not that low. We're not Joe Biden.
So let me get this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease. All right, meaning that there's going to be very few jobs because they are few. Kind. And those that look out of the window be darkened, meaning those that look, towards the future. All right, looking out the window is a metaphor of looking to the future. All right, it be darkened. All right, meaning, all right, and that's ultimately why these teenagers, all right, they suffer mental illness. Why? Because they don't see a future here. All right, but us, all right, we have a vast future ahead of us, man. All right, we know that we have a bright future, all right, that's coming our way, all right, filled with happiness, glory, all right, and immortality, all right. But these people, all right, don't have that hope. All right, these people are hopeless. All right, and this is why you see, all right, these things, okay, that he's talking about among the youth. What it say? Even that thou young man should faint, man, and be weary. Okay.
But if people are becoming mentally ill because they're disconnected from others, what can we do to connect them to others and thereby reduce the incidence of mental illness? That's a real conversation. Is there a more important one? Meanwhile, more than 100,000 people just died of ODs. And the pandemic is responsible for some of that. Watch.
New numbers out today from the CDC show how drug overdoses have surged during the pandemic. More than 107,000 Americans died of drug overdoses in 2021. That's the highest annual death toll ever recorded and a 15% increase from the year before. Deaths involving fentanyl, meth, and cocaine rose sharply.
Okay, so people are doing more drugs, they're more unstable, they're killing themselves more often, and in some rare cases, they're killing others. Now, what kind of mindset would it take to go murder children in an elementary school?
All right, so it's beautiful, man. All right, that little rundown in a nutshell, okay, is the spirit of America. All right, this place is finished. Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. All right, who's that cruel lord, man? All right, that's Salakia. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts, kind, which is Yahweh Shah, man. Okay? Hey, and the Lord is bringing all these calamities, man. All right, the Lord is bringing all this judgment and all this calamities and all this sorrow, man. Hey, because you people are proud. All right, you people are prideful. Okay. That's good. Let's get it.
We're so disconnected from other human beings that seems okay to you. What could be adding to the feeling of disconnection we have from one another? Well, in 2020, adults in the United States spent an average of 8 hours every day on digital media, staring at a screen. The lockdowns made it worse. They're not the only cause, but they definitely exacerbated it. That's a 20% jump from 2019. One of the people who spent an awful lot of time online during the pandemic was the shooter in Uvalde. He reportedly played a lot of Call of Duty instead of going outside. The shooter in Buffalo also spent a lot of time online as well. In fact, he blamed the internet for radicalizing him. I spent almost a year planning this attack, he wrote on April 26th. Oh, how time flies. If I could go back, maybe I'd tell myself to get the F off 4chan and the World Truth videos and get an actual life. Too late for that now. Now, that's not an argument for censoring those or any other site.
Hey, and this is why they ultimately, this is why they're ultimately going to pretty much try to get rid of this truth. Why? Because this truth is doing damage. So, hey, they're going to use things like this nature of this guy doing this, guy in the subway, whatever the case. All right, they're going to make it the case that, all right, these people are being radicalized. All right, and they're even going to go after some of their own people. But within that, the real target is this truth. All right, which is it's going to lead to Amos 8 and 11. Okay, famine of the word. Let's go.
It's an argument for experiencing real life, nature, other people, animals, anything but a screen. Staring at a screen all day puts you into your own world, and in some small number of cases, it drives you insane. It makes you mentally ill and violent. That's very obvious. That's one of the reasons that people in Silicon Valley, the tech executives, don't let their own kids lose themselves in their stupid iPads. Back in September of 2013, after a mass shooting at the Washington Navy Yard, the late Charles Krauthammer identified the problem. We have a lot of mentally ill people, and we need to stop ignoring them. Obviously, we've ignored that warning, so here it is again.
He needed help. 30 years ago, the cops would have brought him to a psychiatric emergency room. He probably would have gotten antipsychotics, and he probably would have been...
So look, man, at the end of the day, all right, this place is finished. All right, the people have nothing to look forward to. All right, they have nothing to live for. All right, and ultimately, all right, America is going to go down the same way it was created. All right, which leads me to my next scripture, Revelation 18 and 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And that's what's coming to America. Okay? All right, this place is about to be thrown down. Okay, by Salakia. This place is being thrown down. All right? Okay, this place is being thrown down by Yahweh Shah, man, judgment. All right? So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.